Good morning, gang. Happy Sunday morning. All right. Can you believe we're almost halfway through this year? Tomorrow's the last day of June. Unbelievable. All right. Let me ask a question. I always ask a question. Pose something to get you guys to think. That's the whole point of why we do this here. How does it work for me? Not that we have answers. I'm posing questions so you can figure it out for yourself. Have you ever given thought to what would actually happen if, I don't know, pick something. We had World War III. We had a civil war in the U.S. If a hurricane, a tornado, a wildfire hit your area, who'd be in control? We think about this as we prep all the time, like we are going to be little islands out there. Whether it's just you and your household, whether it's a mag or whatever it is. But there's going to be other groups of people who are going to declare that they are in control. Think about it. FEMA, okay? FEMA is going to come in after any sort of disaster and say, we're deciding what happens. Really? I mean, go back to what happened last fall when we were doing the food drive for the people in Newport and Greenville, Tennessee, and trying to raise all of that. And the first place that we took everything, all of a sudden, a couple of days later, after we had dropped off our first load, unfortunately, it got distributed, FEMA came in and said, we're taking over, and then proceeded to take all the donations and ship them an hour and a half away. Who gave you that authorization? That's not your stuff, okay? And of course, the city immediately came up and said, yep, not happening. We're going to move everything over to a church repository, a church warehouse. Kiss my ass, FEMA, okay? But FEMA came in and just declared they were in charge. Think about if we have any sort of armed conflict, whether it's a world war or a domestic war. What's the first thing that's going to happen? Martial law is going to come into place, right? And now the military is going to come in and tell you, we're in control. We're going to tell you when and where you can go anywhere. We're going to tell you whether or not you can protect yourself, read between the lines. Potentially, okay, even though it's a violation of the Constitution, we're confiscating your house or whatever. Who gave them that authority? I didn't. Whoever declared martial law, I didn't give you the authority to do that. Okay. What if it's just something local? Is it your mayor? Is it your sheriff? Hell, is it the president of your HOA or the management company that runs your apartment complex? I mean, pick something like this. Somebody out there is going to declare, not ask, declare they're in charge. And unless they are planning on protecting, feeding, clothing, providing water, whatever, to everybody, they can pound rocks, okay? We need to be involved. We need to be aware. Some of you inevitably are. You know, whether you, again, sit on your apartment board or sit, you know, are a member of your HOA, whether you attend city council meetings, community meetings, county meetings, whatever they are, you need to know who the players are, who the ones are going to be helpful and who the ones are going to be dictatorial, because you know they are. It was a couple of years ago, I think, maybe it might be almost 3 years ago now, I remember going out, a couple hours away to sit in a community meeting. I even showed you guys the videotape with the state senator and a state congressman as they were discussing community issues in a county that I don't even live in. But one of y'all asked me to come. I had come over there and we had talked about it. Listen to what they said. I mean, a lot of it was on gun rights and things like this. This was, if I remember, during COVID. But that's what's important. Do you participate? I go to my county commissioner meetings. I want to hear what they have planned. I want to see who the players are. I want to learn who the friends and who the foes are. Trust me, in every organization, there's an asshole. Somebody who thinks they know everything. They're going to demand that you follow them. They're going to decide on their own. They're in charge. Now, I've said many times, too many chiefs and not enough Indians is going to be what happens in an SHTF situation. There's no question about that. Everybody is going to think they're in charge. Everybody knows better, and that's going to splinter communities like crazy. What you need to figure out is who are the ones that are competent and who are the ones prepared. I certainly don't want to listen to some bald, fat slob come up and say, you're going to do this, you're going to do that because we need to feed everybody. And we'll be like, are you ready for, how are you feeding yourself? Well, we're all going to work so I can eat too. Oh, so what you're telling me is you didn't do any advanced preparation for this. Got it. Not following you. And then I'd make it very vocal that why in the hell are you following a guy who didn't even have any foresight to think about, gee, this could happen? Because I'll tell you this, World War III or Civil War or something is not going to start in a blink of an eye. Chances are your community is not going to be ground zero for the beginning of whatever happens. You're going to know ahead of time. All of a sudden, if you see martial law is declared in Ottumwa, Iowa, I don't know, what's going on? Oh, there's, pick something, ethnic tensions or racial tensions or something like this. And they're doing, okay, antenna up. What if it comes here? Rally the troops. But what do you rally behind? Are they going to, potentially for some of you, they're going to rally behind you because you are the known person in the community to, have a well-defended ranch with plenty of gardens and plenty of livestock. I'm just saying, it could be. You could be the person in the apartment complex that everybody trusts. They're going to look to you. Some of us, some of you, may have to take on leadership roles. Are you ready for it? In that leadership role, you may have to beat back the people that think they're leaders. In my area, we've got some really strong people that could easily lead. Okay. We kind of all know each other well enough what people's strengths and weaknesses are. Okay. We have a bunch of people with their heads screwed on right going, you know what? He knows more about that than I do. I'm going to let him take care of that. That's certainly the way our community operates. Okay. But there's always going to be somebody who thinks they're the best at everything. Look at any company, look at any social organization, whatever it is, there's always one guy on a power trip. And like I said, that could be something as large as FEMA, it could be your mayor, it could be your HOA president, okay? Learn what makes them tick. Start spotting the people who are going to try to be authoritarian. So you can make plans ahead of time. You can prep to defend against their idiocy, because you know what's going to happen. Learn who your neighbors are. Learn who the people in power and positions of power are, because they're the ones that are going to think, just by the current title that they hold, that means automatically they are the ones in the positions of power in any sort of bad event. Y'all know as well as I do, there's plenty of mayors, sheriffs, HOA presidents, pick something, that the first second something turns south, they're the ones that tuck tail and run. Learn that too, because now you have a power vacuum. And unless there is some sort of large command and control structure, everybody'd be FUBAR. Just something to think about today. Have a good one. Pinball out.